welcome back to Marx Library Live.
It's week, like, I don't know, 9, 8, something, whatever.
7,212.
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
It's been a long semester.
It has. I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm getting old. I don't know. Like, semesters feel like they're just dragging on and on.
Okay.
We're back.
We're back. We know you missed us.
So
hopefully you didn't panic.
Right. No panicking. There's no panicking. We did want to talk about kind of how they're organized from, like, a larger, and then how they're organized internally in each.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we brought examples today. So we often talk about, when we talk about journals, we often call them serials too, right? And Stephanie and I were joking earlier, it's perfect for Halloween. Serials as in, like, the killer, more than one, rather than the breakfast food, right?
Right.
So serials with an S. And the idea of serials with an S is that they are issued in specific and set intervals, right? So, in this case, this is issued 4 times a year, right? Which is pretty common. And that's where that whole idea of volume and issue comes from.
Right.
So the volume is the year, right? And the issue is each consecutive
So, are
blob.
these all from... Yeah, these
they are.
all... I should have known.
I planned
So
ahead.
these are all from volume 81, which was the year 2016. And you can see that they have issue 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Right.
So
that's like the yearly container.
Right.
Right? So that's it. And we talk about citation binding a lot. We've talked about it on here before. And that's a dead giveaway when you're looking at a works cited or bibliography that you're dealing with a journal article, right?
If you're trying to figure out, is this a book? Is this a journal? Is this a chapter? That's going to tell you that you're dealing with a journal article.
Right, because it's got to indicate what volume and what issue it comes from. Because the title of the journal does not change.
No.
The only thing that changes are the volume and issue, and then the volume journal's internal contents, the issue's internal contents.
And that's really important information because you've got to know which one of these to pick up to find your article.
Yes.
So, and that's true even electronically.
Yeah.
So imagine, like, when you're, sorry, I keep cutting back.
Go ahead.
Imagine when you're in the database that you're actually walking over to the shelf and you've got to know which volume,
this one,
and then which issue of that year do I need.
Right. So think about that's the larger container. And then the internal container for each journal is
each issue.
Each issue. And then you have a table of contents for each issue, right? And we wanted to draw you guys' attention to this because this is something you probably don't experience in the databases unless you browse by issue.
Right.
Right? So you'll have the major kind of normal things in a journal issue. A volume, it would be, you kind of have an editor's note, right? Then you have the, like, meat of the issue, which is going to be those academic peer-reviewed articles. And then you often have...
You'll have other things. I don't know if this one has...
This one does.
Okay, yeah, this one does. This one has some reviews. So we'll have book reviews.
Like a lot of book reviews here. And those are people in the field reviewing new, generally monograph or book-length treatments of things in new topics in the field.
Right.
Right?
And this can be confusing because sometimes they have the title that makes it is the same as the book.
Yeah.
And so sometimes students think they have, like, found something about their topic when what they've really
when it's
found
really about is just the book review.
It's just the book review. Yeah.
Right. Another confusing thing that we see students kind of struggle with is the idea that not everything or every article or I don't want to call it article, but every item
yeah,
in a journal is peer reviewed.
Right. So that's especially true when you're using something like OneSearch or Academic Search Complete or whatever, and you tick that little peer reviewed box and you get a bunch of results, and you think because you ticked that little box that everything is a peer reviewed article. All it means is it was published in one of these.
Peer reviewed journal. Right. So if you have any questions about that, it's really good to kind of ask your friendly librarian, right?
Yeah, because it happens sometimes where a student finds something like a book review, they ticked that box.
It's not a scholarly peer-reviewed article in the, like, sense that we want you to be using one. It doesn't have any kind of original research or scholarship in it.
Right. There's no real argument. You know, I guess a book review is an argument, but you know what I mean.
But it's really just it's good or it's not good. Right. Which is not really...
Scholastic
in nature, right? Okay, so how does, Stephanie, How does this kind of organizational scheme of volume and issue translate into the databases?
Okay, so if you are, let's say you're citation mining, and you know that you want an article from American Antiquity, the first thing you do is you go to our journal list and see that we have the journal. Okay, that's first. We have this journal.
We have it, and we actually have this one, I believe, I checked, well, I know we do this one, Caribbean Quarterly, in both print
We do this one too.
and electronic.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So chances are
That, what
you're looking for,
Right,
you don't
right.
need to get the print.
Right, you probably, I see where you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably will not, in fact, you probably will not, like 2016, you probably will not have to pick them up. Beth's folks are more likely to have to pick up a print journal. But once you see that we have it, usually you're going to see multiple options for accessing the journal, and that's where that volume comes into play.
Yes, because... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. You want to pay attention to the year it was published, because some of them we do not have access like all the way through present day.
Yeah, so you'll see holdings dates, so it'll say, some of them are weird, they'll say like, 1978 through 2012.
Yeah, so you want to make sure that...
In that case, this wouldn't work, right?
Right.
This is from 2016?
Right.
Yeah, so you
So
have to
this
find...
would not be in that, and you'll see them listed, and you just click the one that includes the date you're looking for.
Yeah. So then what?
So then, depending on where it is, they're all a little bit different. But then usually they're going to be listed by year,
Mm-hmm.
and then within the year they're going to be listed by issue.
Issue, right? Which is
Right.
again where that idea of issue comes in, right?
So that again, you have to know like which one of these. So like I said, it's like walking over to the shelf. You have to know which one of these to pick up. So once you find the year, you then have to find the issue. So if you see that you need, issue number 2, that's also why being able to read
a citation
a
is
citation
super
is
important.
really important. Then you click on that, and then usually you'll find they'll just give you everything.
Yeah, everything
Yeah.
in the
If you're
all the
if
contents
you're
of that
lucky,
issue.
and it's through like Science Direct or whatever, you can search by author or
Yeah,
something
but
and
most
find
of
it.
the
But
time,
most of the time,
the content's not that long, so you can just kind of scroll through the appropriate issue and find
usually
it.
it's not.
Yeah.
Usually it's not. Yeah.
So do we want to talk about another way, like the idea of continuous pagination is another way of determining sometimes what issue
Yeah, we
something
can
is
definitely
in?
do that.
Okay. Because sometimes I think if you're looking, let me start over. This comes up sometimes in some of the works edited bibliographies that are older that I come across. It's not in my disciplines, you don't look at as much older stuff,
Right.
but sometimes the conventions of the journal will not, or whatever citation style that they're using, will not require an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Or they have done a crappy job at creating a citation, which happens.
It does happen. Yeah.
Happens.
Or they have the incorrect.
Or the
yeah.
incorrect issue, which happens too, right? So the idea of continuous pagination within a volume helps. And what that means is that issue 1 of volume 18, so whatever, volume 18, issue 1, starts with page 1.
Mm-hmm.
Issue 2 is going to start with whatever page issue 1 ended with. So in this case, I think this journal stops at 157, so the next issue is going to start at 158. And that's a good way of determining, like, if you have the page numbers for your citation, you're like, oh,
Yeah, so this one's done the same way.
it's probably in in issue 2.
Yeah, so we have this one ending on 201, and this one picking up on 202.
Most contemporary journals are continuously paginated. Some of the older ones are not, which are really annoying and frustrating and weird and stupid. But again, it's that idea of like it is the entire volume is the container.
Right, yeah, so this is, imagine it like one big...
Which, if you go up into, these are current periodicals, but if you go
Yeah.
into the stacks,
You'll actually see them that way.
because we bind them that way.
Yeah. It
So,
looks like one big
Book.
year-long book. Yeah.
yeah. So, anything else we kind of want to talk about? We thought, like, that's something that you guys don't really see very much.
So we thought that might be causing some confusion when you go into the database and then you're like, well, what do I do? You know,
I've got American Antiquity. What's the problem here?
Right, so, but then you have to figure out which part of it you need.
Yeah. Or Caribbean Quarterly. Oh, real quick, let's talk about the idea of, like, a special issue.
Oh, yeah, good idea. So occasionally, and I think you've got one right there, these will, they'll have a special issue and they're themed.
And
so,
I think this one is The Caribbean Stage is the theme.
about whatever it is you're researching, then everything else in there is going to be on the same topic. So,
Really relevant.
So pretty good chance you're going to find something else that you need in there.
So even if you're in a database and you find an article, right, you might do well just looking to see if that comes from a special. I mean, sometimes it'll indicate in the record that it's from a special issue, but
or when you get into the database and you are actually looking at the issue, you'll often say issue number and
special issue. So everything in here is about the Caribbean stage. So you're like, oh, well, and a lot of journals do this. Even if they don't necessarily call it a special issue, they'll put out a call for papers on a sort of kind of like central topic.
Right.
So just some things that like you probably don't know about that are there. Special issue. Anything else we want to say?
I think that's a pretty good coverage of what these containers look like.
Yeah, and we just wanted to make sure that you guys understood that this is kind of old school, but the old school method of organization is how libraries still continue to organize their electronic stuff, because it's really the only scheme that makes sense.
So when you're looking at it online, it's helpful to imagine it as it would appear in print.
Yep. Container, smaller container.
Yep.
Big container.
Yes.
Yes. So remember cereals, more than one. Okay. So, if you guys have any questions about that, please don't hesitate to reach out to either me or Stephanie or your librarian, and we can sit you down and like hand you one.
Yeah, we can help you figure it out.
Touch it and feel it and experience it in real life. I'm actually very surprised by the number of students who like haven't
actually physically
one of these.
Yeah.
So, if you want to touch them without a librarian, you can go to, we keep our current periodicals or current serials all in one place that we still keep in print, and they are on the second floor south. So if you come up the stairs on the second floor, you will run into them.
Yeah, or if you come in that second floor entrance, they're on the right-hand side.
Yeah, and you'll see them. It'll say like current periodicals. So just kind of like browse, take a look.
And that will help you understand a little bit better about what you're looking at looks like online.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so what's coming up?
Okay, so we should have some more librarian friends.
We will. We'll have more friends. Oh,
I assume we have more friends.
We have friends. We have
okay.
lots of friends. We have lots of friends.
And then we're going to have some stuff for you about final exams coming up a little bit later.
Yeah. Okay, so cool things coming up in the library that we should tell you about.
I thought you meant on.
Well, I meant on that too because that's always cool.
Yeah,
but, like,
so
little PSAs. The more you know.
Okay, so the big thing next week, after I can't not believe the election's next week.
I know, right?
We are going to have a return watch party in the Learning Commons next Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m.
And there's going to be free pizza.
Yeah, there's
right?
going to be pizza, and hopefully you guys can come and have some smart conversations, eat some pizza.
Stephanie, I'll be there.
And so naturally there will be smart conversations.
Right.
That's what you were implying.
I mean, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
But anyway, a chance to watch the returns in a kind of I don't know what the word would be, but
scholastic.
A scholastic environment.
Yeah. And then there's pizza.
Yeah.
Which is not at your apartment. I mean, you could, but you have to pay for it there.
Yeah, it's free here.
And so what time is that?
That starts at 7.
Okay, so polls close at 7, so come over here and hang out.
So go vote. And
yes! If you're not registered to vote, you
late,
lost out. But if
but
you're
I know none of our viewers forgot to register.
Right, because we reminded them on social media.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are registered to vote, please vote. And then come hang out and watch Democracy in Action.
Mm-hmm.
And Stephanie and I will nerd out about it.
All right, anything else we have?
Make sure to check out our social media tomorrow. There'll be some cute little Halloween-y fun things that Stephanie
tomorrow's
made.
Halloween.
They're awesome. So come to the library tomorrow. Your favorite librarians will be dressed up in Halloween costumes. Favorite being us. And what else? I think that's what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So make sure to follow us on social media. You're on Instagram already. We are on Facebook and Twitter. And we have a YouTube page where these
amazing
Marx
pieces of
Library
cinematic, like...
I don't know, ephemera.
Milestones. Cinematic milestones.
Milestones. They are on YouTube as Marx Library Live. So if you just want to binge watch some Beth and Stephanie, there you go.
Yeah, and if you guys have suggestions for stuff that you want us to cover, please let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have it's just Liz saying hi.
Hi, Liz.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, cool. Okay, guys.
All right. Well, I think that's it. So we will see you next week.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween.
Bye, guys.
It's so small.
It's so tight. Oh, I just turned the camera around. Nice.